Nigerian governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party will be meeting with former Rivers State Governor and Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Niyi Wike, today. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the Director General of the forum, Cyril Maduabum, disclosed that the decision to visit Wike was reached at the group's meeting held on Tuesday. He noted that the meeting will be held at the minister's office in Abuja, which is geared towards reconciliation and mediation. This comes barely 48 hours after moves by 24 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach the state governor, Wike Fubara, resulted in turbulence in the state on Monday as the governor's loyalists stormed the assembly complex in protest against the plot. Now joining us in the news is News Central correspondent Niyi Omoniyi to give us an update on the situation in Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for joining us, Niyi. All right, we'll get back to Niyi in due time. Now moving on, governors elected on the platform of the Nigerian opposition People's Democratic Party have welcomed the judgment of the Supreme Court on the party's petition against the outcome of the 2023 presidential election. Now speaking after a meeting held by the Governors Forum on Tuesday, the chairman of the group and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed reaffirmed their faith and confidence in the judiciary to do justice in political and other cases before the courts. The governors resolved to reposition and strengthen the PDP as a viable opposition political party ready and willing to play its role as the vanguard of the Nigerian people for democracy, good governance, and accountability. This is coming 6 days after the Supreme Court affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in the February 25 presidential poll. All right, now we have been able to reconnect with Niyi Omoniyi, our correspondent in Port Harcourt, to give us an update of what is happening there. Niyi, thank you so much for joining us. If you can hear me.
Thank you for having me, Dashen.
All right, so you've been keeping an eye on the ground, you've been on the ground for a while and keeping an eye on this situation in Port Harcourt for a while now. Please, can you give us an update on the situation and what we are tracking at this time? What have you observed so far?
So this is what I'm tracking. I'll just let us have the view of that. As you can see, this is the River State House of Assembly complex. And if you look down there, you can see the federal fire service truck driving into the complex. And they're moving towards the chambers, which was actually set on fire, set ablaze in the early part of the week. And this is the second time they're coming back. From what we could gather from them, not from them basically, but from people in there, it's that there were some smokes generating inside the chamber. So that's why they had to come in there to make sure that there's no rejuvenation or regeneration of fire at some point. And that's why they are back here now to ensure that there's no fire again is going to generate from that place. However, as I said, this complex is under lock and key, and no one is actually allowed to go in or come out aside this set of people. And we went earlier to the house of the speaker's house in the community. Although we're not allowed to actually shoot in front of the house, but we can confirm that the videos we saw online that the gate was being they were trying to pull down the gates. Yes, when we got there this morning, they were trying to actually weld the gates back on. We're not allowed to shoot there, but what is more concerning is that just opposite the speaker's house, we have the officers' mess, we have the police station there, we have so many security forces there. I'm wondering how all these were possible. However, we had some arrests that have been made. We can't confirm that now because we've reached out to the police force PRO and we are waiting for information so that I can confirm to you if any arrest has been made or not. And of course, investigation about the arson, I can confirm to you if anyone has been arrested or prosecution is also ongoing. We are waiting feedback from the force PRO.
All right, still talking about this, security situation there. We've actually had reports of a protest or a recent protest, that went on in Port Harcourt, and also a report of some angry youths, allegedly protesting over the political crisis in the state. Now, can you give us an update on that? Do you have an idea?
So just as I mentioned earlier, no protest has happened since the last one that caused the uproar and the early part of the week, where I wouldn't call that a protest. That was about 2 days ago, where youth and members of the public just gathered in front of the government house, chanting solidarity song and of course airing their view as to what is happening. But so far, we've not seen any form of gathering across the town, even in front of the government house. Everyone have been going about their duty, and we can say this has been informed probably by the intervention of the president in the matter, and they've seen that things are actually shouldn't escalate more than it should be. Although we've not heard any formal address from the governor himself or from any major party. Politicians we've tried to reach out to, or elder statesmen, have not been able to give us a feedback either. Everyone is just trying to stay away from that issue for now until the governor himself addresses the nation. Then we'll know what to pick from there. But for now, as regards if anyone has been arrested or anything, we can't say.
All right, Niyi, still talking about talks of reconciliation. You said you've been unable to connect with any of the politicians there, as they have been mute about the whole incident. But what about residents on the ground? What are they saying about this?
Well, residents are not agitated as you would have in the early part of the week. This time around, they're just calm, going about their normal duties. As I said earlier, what might have informed this is the intervention of the president. All they were calling for earlier is peace, and all they are calling for is a united rivers. And so far, they've gotten that, and normalcy has returned. Everywhere we've stepped, every person we've asked about how they feel about what is going on. Two things that have been recurrent in their position is the fact that they want the governor of the state to be left alone to decide and manage the resources of the state. Secondly, they want Rivers to be a peaceful state. And we can even see opposition leaders that actually contested against the governor also coming out to give solidarity to the governor, that this was the reason why they stepped down, and this was the reason why they decided to form a united Rivers so that there can be peace. And now that the peace is happening, well, there's nothing else to say.
Well, that's actually a good thing, and hopefully they'll be able to resolve or reconcile in no time, and peace, the peace that they have actually been clamoring for would return to Rivers State. Thank you so much, Omoniyi, our correspondent, for joining us in the news at this time.